Oh dear! Welcome to a rather summery episode of the Sesh. It's hot as balls, so we're going to have some very cold beer. First up, we've got quite a recent one. It's Moa's South Pacific IPA. It's a little one from their, what do they call it? Estate range, bottle condition. 5%, no dramas. It's a new one though. I don't think I've seen this on the shelves until quite recently, so we will see if it's a keeper.
Well, tell us about Moa.
Oh, they know about Moa.
They might not. They might be from
then.
America.
One of the granddaddies of Blenheim Brewing. I'm not sure which came first, Renaissance or Moa. Probably Moa, actually. Who knows?
That's
Look that one up.
Yeah.
But no, they've been around for a very long time. Some very keen advertising. And but recently, a return to good beer. So, promising
No
stuff.
bitties in this one?
Oh, there's plenty of bitties. No,
Oh,
bottle
there is
conditioned,
actually.
and they mean it too. They
Yep.
really mean it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got some bitties there.
Should have done that in one pour, really. Never mind.
What's
That's
unique
the-
about this ale compared to the others?
Well, I think the bottle conditioning is the main thing. That and it's an IPA. Moa doesn't do a straight up IPA by the 6-pack. They've got their methode Pilsner and the Noir and the Blanc. And this is the first time I think they've come out with anything that just outright says IPA on the bottle.
They've usually been quite Belgian sort of influenced, really. So it's nice to see something a little more English.
When they say South Pacific, are they just referring to their unique combination of hops, or is there some other aspect to what they do? Which makes it
Let's see.
different?
Most likely New
it's
Zealand
Nelson.
hopped.
It's Nelson hops, so it means
Right.
Is that
very.
Sauvin in there again?
Oh, it is. It's
I think they use that
Sauvin
quite often.
and Cascade are the two,
Oh,
two
that's
biggies in there.
Cascade. I
So,
wonder if that's a New Zealand grown Cascade.
oh, sure it is. Why would you buy a bought one? Oh, anyway, I'm hoping this is a lovely cold beer weather, or rather, a cold beer for warm weather.
It's
Smells
definitely
like it.
cold beer weather.
When it is. Yeah, no, it's very crisp.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
quite
just
nice.
what you need on a 30+ degree Celsius day.
Still very fruity.
There's some crisp
And-
green apple taste there.
Yeah.
A little bit
Yeah.
sharp, but still refreshing. Still brings down that core body temperature a little.
Yeah, lots of green apple skin, quite a lot of citrus coming through. It's very fruity,
So
which is
yeah,
lovely.
bottled at 5% alcohol, so not necessarily light, but not too heavy.
Not
For a
gonna
craft
overwhelm-
IPA, it's pretty light.
I think you'd want to
really.
be careful drinking it on a day like this, but it's quite good. It's nicely
I'm
balanced.
pleased. I would drink that again. I think I
Oh,
may well do
absolutely.
that.
No. And buy the 6-pack too, so plenty available. Should be in most
Reasonably
supermarkets.
priced?
Oh, it's not bad. It's cheaper than the ET, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything's cheaper than the ET.
So, yeah, no, not a bad buy, and not a bad IPA either.
Yeah. No, that's nice.
That's
good
very
little,
scrummy.
Good little bit of head on it. Nice carbonation.
Be very careful with the bottle conditioning. Even we made a mistake today. They are heavily bottle conditioned. There's a good sort of millimetre of goings on at the bottom of that one, and unless that's been sitting for really a good 2 days, that will be pouring very cloudy, and I don't think as good. You don't want your IPA full of yeast. So
Well, perhaps if we keep a little of your first pour and compare it with the end pour there, at the end of the
all
clip.
right, we'll have a bitties session.
No, that's a nice balanced beer. I'm liking it. It's not heavily hopped, but it's not just light and watery either.
Well, that's very worthwhile. Feel cooler already.
Just what one needs on a day like today.
So let's see some of that extreme condition.
Oh,
That's what you want to avoid.
you could bake that in the oven and call it bread.
Yeah. We'll do a little shot of that, eh? We probably want to leave the camera there, don't we?
Oh, it's a wee well
Yeah.
serviced, really.
That's pretty bad, really. Definitely need to be
So
careful
that
on the pour.
Is some
Rest that
chunky
one.
beer.
Although the bottle conditioning does give it that sort of, just that extra bit of body, which is quite nice. Just a little bit of sort of bready bead to it, which is really quite satisfying. It's an extra dimension that you don't get out of filtered beer.
Yeah, it's definitely not very good when you get that end pour.
No, that's probably a bit.
I'm pleased.
It's a bit funky in that one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, that's nice on the
fine.
first pour,
No,
definitely.
leave that in the bottle.
Not so good at the end.
All right. Well, staying on the IPA train and on the cold beer train, we're going to take it to the next level, where they second one. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Oh,
It's Superconductor, 8 Wired's double IPA, 8.8%.
Wow.
What is he going to say? Nothing.
it's very
Never
strong.
mind.
There's not a lot to say.
I'm pretty sure it's mostly New Zealand hops.
8 Wired aren't
Plenty of
afraid
them.
to experiment, so looking forward to something a bit different.
No,
It's
definitely
a little challenging too.
reliably good beer from Soren
Oh,
Eriksson.
it's solid stuff, always from 8 Wired.
Yes.
Unless it says Brettanomyces or barrel fermented, in which case you might be in
Yeah,
for
yeah,
just a
that's
little
true.
bit of a shock
You do need to
occasionally,
keep an
but
eye out for
the
that now.
core range is extremely solid beer. Just be very careful with the Chardonnay barrel Saison and the like, or you might have a bad accident.
I think the Brett Porter was quite nice.
Oh, they were nice. Yeah,
the
they were
Chardonnay
nice.
one was a bit off, but
I wasn't very nice the next morning, but it's probably another story.
yeah. So, yeah, as you mentioned, 8.8 is a double IPA.
It's a big beastie, this one.
And you do pay for that. They're not a cheap little beer.
Smell the double hops.
Oh yeah,
It smells good. It doesn't smell too
No.
alcoholic.
It's got a very sweet head and a very
Good head retention.
That's very like
that
just
oil.
smelling opening a bag of hops and putting your nose in. Actually, that's
very
quite,
aromatic, actually. Yeah.
quite resinous. He's changed the recipe on this one a couple of times.
Which hops do we
Over
have
the
currently?
I wouldn't
don't
have a
know.
clue. I think it just says there's a lot of them.
Right.
It's very fruity.
That goes almost without saying. Oh, crikey.
Oh yeah, that's actually surprisingly smooth.
Yeah.
That's getting into almost a creamy.
I'm not
kind of a
noticing any sort of
character.
alcohol burn character in there. It's all just big malts, big hops.
It's still crisp, but
Very
only
American style.
only just. It's got quite a lot of barley sugars and
Very sweet, but not so much it overwhelms the hop bitterness. It balances the two nicely.
no, the resinous quality to those hops is amazing.
Very resinous. A lot of good pininess to it.
Makes me wonder if there is even American hops in.
It certainly feels like there are, yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely a level up in beer by all accounts. And yeah, you certainly wouldn't want to drink too many of these.
And it doesn't look strong. It looks nice and pale, just like a standard IPA.
It's a very clear character, none of the cloudiness, none
No,
of the
no,
bitterness
yeah,
we got
actually
from the
it's,
bottle conditioned Moa.
It's lighter than a great many.
Yeah. It's worth noting also that they do what's called a semiconductor, which is a sessionable version of this. So very similar flavours at a much lower alcohol, I think around 3 to 4%.
Alas, not a much lower price.
Well,
So,
no, you're still
yes,
paying
it's
for all
got,
those hops.
It's got ET-itis again.
Alcohol is the cheap part of beer, really. So, yeah, unfortunately,
sure
you
it's
do have
lovely.
to pay for your
Yeah.
sessionable beers.
But no, if you've got the money, then that's probably one to check out. I'm sure it's delicious. I've never bought it. I may never, but you never know.
If I was going to have more than one on a day like today, I definitely want something with a lower alcohol content to
I'm
stay
sure it
with
would be,
dehydration
so.
and other
I mean,
shenanigans.
this does have just a little bit of a strong maltiness at the back of the throat after a few mouthfuls.
Oh, it's tidied up pretty neatly by those
But it's
hops.
very nice.
Yes.
Well balanced.
No,
Nice and cold.
balance is definitely what I'd say about this one. It's a really good fusion of the malt and the hops. When they get big like that, if they don't have enough hops, they can get very sticky, and a few of them fall over when it comes to that. A few of the Imperials, they're just not quite there with the hops, and so they just end up being sort of mildly hoppy barley wines, and they're not refreshing at all.
On the other hand, though, this one does avoid the sometimes common trap of Imperial IPAs, which is to say, well, we've got a strong IPA, we must add all the hops, more hops, to a point where it's almost overwhelmed. This one has avoided that, shown some restraint, So it's still a hoppy, still strong, but
Yeah, they certainly
comfortably
haven't
so.
missed the mark. I think they've gone right down the centre.
This is this is actually surprisingly good. This is better than when I might have tried this a year ago. I think it's been tweaked just slightly, and it's probably come out of a different brewery than the one I tried.
That's a good point.
A year
Yeah.
ago. So there's probably minor differences, but no, I think it's a wee bit paler, and that balance is just spot on. That is a bullseye.
Mm.
So Eight Wired have relocated in the last year.
Yes,
Absolutely.
they've gone up north. I think it's a bit of a shame, really. We've lost one of the best South Island breweries. They've moved on from Renaissance. I think they just got a bit too big. Needed more space, needed a bigger plant, and so he's up in. He did some brewing out of Steam, and is he somewhere else now?
No, as far as I know, still
up
there in
Steam,
Auckland.
So it's a bit of a win for the regrettably dominant North Island brewing scene up there. But never
Oh yeah, I
mind.
think Dale's also brewing through Steam as well, so they're sucking all the South Island breweries away.
But he still lives in the South Island. It's probably where he does his prototype. So he's still a South Island brewer, even if it's not where the beer necessarily comes out of.
Just contracting out more.
Though he still wants to make his own plant, so we can hope that one comes up here. He should build it in Christchurch. That's what he should do.
There's plenty of land.
Tell you what, it's cheap.
I don't know about that.
No, as long as it's not a house. Breweries are
I suppose, yeah, maybe the commercial stuff's a bit
$2.
cheaper.
There you go, brewery.
Mm.
No, lovely
There's a
stuff.
brewery going in Lincoln at the moment.
Lincoln. Oh, that's a good place.
It's called the Laboratory.
Yeah.
I think they're still working on the foundations at the moment, but I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm looking forward to that.
No,
Brew pub.
can't have too many good breweries, especially if they have a pub. So we
That's
lost
right.
we lost the old Twisted Pot. I suppose we got the new one, but it just doesn't seem quite the same.
No, well, the brewery is in Wigram, and they've got the main pub in Woolston, and I think they're going to have one in Lincoln at some point as well. Three Boys have a bit of a bar going on. It's not so much a bar.
Yeah,
It's more just your
it's
regular
more of
foods,
a bench, but
it's good to get it from the source. It's
Yeah.
nice to buy it like that. Go and talk to the brewers and all that sort of thing.
no. If you want to build a brew bar in Christchurch, go right ahead. We'll be in
We'll be
there,
there.
and a few other people will be too, probably. Anyway, I think that's just about it for that one. This has been the Sesh. It's still hot as balls. We might go inside now. I think that might
That's
be
pretty
a very
nice,
good idea.
and there's still a bit of
it's
beer.
getting good. I feel I might be burning. Anyway, signing off.